After he goes over every game, we're gonna call it marathon or passathon. You guys in chat can join in on the fun. You know, this gives me an idea of what games, and I haven't watched this video yet, but it's gonna give me an idea of what games I want to marathon this year that are MMOs that are worth marathoning, or which ones I'm just gonna pass on. All right, let's see what we got.
Time of the year again.
Hold on. It's that time of the year again, but I'm also logged into WoW, so.
Where all of the MMO content creators make one of those list videos talking about the upcoming MMORPGs that might be releasing in 2023, even though experience has taught us that half of these games will be perpetually pushed back another year, only to be featured on next year's list. Honestly, some of the games featured in this video won't ever come out, and the ones that do probably won't live up to expectations. This list will be organised in the order of the MMOs that I'm the most optimistic about to the ones that I'm less optimistic about.
What's up with the quality of this video, dude? I hope my quality isn't automatic. So weird.
But first, sponsor. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know that Ashes of Creation is the MMORPG that I'm personally the most excited for. It's the most ambitious, the business model they're going for doesn't compromise the integrity of the game, it's a nice mix of sandbox and theme park, as well as a mix between both PvP and PvE content. This game has so many features that talking about them all would take too much time, so for more info check out the big Ashes of Creation overview video on my channel that I made a few months back. So when will Ashes of Creation release? Well, personally, I think we can expect Alpha 2 sometime in the first half of 2023, with beta and full release late 2024. There's no official dates given yet, but by the time 2024 rolls around, the game would have been in full development for 7 years, which is similar to the amount of time it took to develop MMOs such as Elder Scrolls Online and ArcheAge in the past.
And WildStar.
The Riot MMO.
Okay, so for all the shit we talk about Ashes, I'm a fucking backer. I'm $400 already deep in that game for a lifetime sub. Hopefully it comes out, but that is definitely a marathon. That is not a passathon for me. That's definitely a marathon whenever it does come out, all bullshit jokes aside.
I did a poll on my YouTube channel a few weeks back, and next to Ashes of Creation, the Riot MMO was the second most highly anticipated MMORPG. Riot Games have a ton of money, resources and talent. All the games they've released in recent years have turned out to be highly polished and successful, and have kind of turned into a new age version of what Blizzard Entertainment used to be, where they would take a game or genre and put their own spin on it whilst making it highly accessible. We don't have a lot of info about the Riot MMO, and due to the fact we haven't seen any gameplay or even screenshots of the game, I can't see it releasing anytime soon. In my opinion, this is a 2025 and beyond MMO release.
That is definitely a marathon whenever the hell it comes out in 2045. So, you know, honestly, man, the worst case scenario is going to be that Ashes comes out around the same time as Riot's game. That's what's going to happen. And Ashes is just going to be like, fuck, what are we doing? Riot MMO comes out before Ashes. I think so. I agree. I think there's a high chance that this MMO comes out before. I mean, I think for every streamer that plays MMORPGs and any Riot game in general, this is definitely a marathon, not a passathon.
Finally, a game that's actually going to release in 2023, Throne and Liberty. This game's been in development for an eternity. Initially, it was supposed to be Lineage 3 and was first shown off at G-Star in 2011. Then they moved the game to Unreal Engine 4 under the name Project TL. Then after that, they renamed it to Throne and Liberty and changed from an isometric MMO to a third-person open-world action combat MMO. This game's going to be a big competitor to Black Desert Online as it features castle sieges, open world PvP guild vs guild battles, as well as massive world boss fights for hundreds of players in the open world. Personally, I'm very excited for this game, even though there's a high likelihood of it being pay to win. The game's currently targeting a release window of Q2 2023.
Marathon or passathon on Throne and Liberty? I think maybe there's a beta. It's NCSoft, man. They usually put on a good show for an event for streamers. Yeah, I would say 24-hour. Maybe we go in between. Maybe it's not a marathon or a passathon. Maybe we're 24-houring that shit. Could be pay to win. Could be pay to win though for sure. It is NCSoft and it's a free to play game. So yeah, it's one of those. Give it a try. I think we'd have to play the beta if there is a beta first and see if like okay, I can maybe tolerate playing Throne and Liberty for longer than 3 days. Could be a mini-thon. Could be a mini. We didn't even put mini in there. So we're in between mini and passa. We're not passing, but we're not marrying. We're like mini. Okay, this is just a subathon, just so you guys know. This is going to be our subathon in 2023. I'm already working on it with my team, so
4. Some people might not consider this an MMORPG, but you're able to see other players running around a massive shared open world and have the opportunity to group up with them, as well as touch a bit of that MMO feeling when taking down world bosses. Diablo 4 will also have PvP and other features that will also likely appeal to MMO fans. Diablo 4 will be releasing on June 6th, 2023, and I'll definitely be covering it on this channel when it does.
Yeah, that's our subathon this year. We already have the emotes. We already have the sub notifiers in play. I'm already getting ready for this game. So that's a subathon. It's neither a marathon or a passathon. It's a fucking full-blown subathon.
Path of Exile 2. Once again, not an MMORPG, but the game will feature co-op parties for up to 6 players. PoE 2 seems like it's got a lot less shared world MMO light features when compared to Diablo 4, but will likely make up for it in depth, build variety, replayability, and content updates. Most MMORPG players that I know are also excited for Path of Exile 2, hence why I decided to include it in this list, and so far the game's looking like it will be releasing in either Q1 or Q2 2024.
Alright, so, you know me and Path of Exile, bro. I don't like mathematics and trigonometry and fucking rocket science, so... The only thing that would make me play Path of Exile is, like, if I play it during release, I'll feel better about playing it during release, because at least I'll be starting at the same time as everyone else, and I won't feel like I'm behind on every single little meta, theta, whatever build. But in terms of marathon, passathon, Path of Exile 2 for me is a passathon. That's a passathon. It's just not my kind of game, man. I will play it, but it's a passathon in terms of like how long the stream would be.
Blue Protocol is an upcoming anime MMORPG from Japan that's almost certainly going to be releasing in 2023, most likely early spring. This game already has a Steam page available and has been in development for quite some time.
Oh yeah.
I actually played the closed beta of Blue Protocol over 2.5 years ago at this point, before the game just went full radio silence for 2 years. From what I remember, it was a decently fun story-driven PvE MMO, although at the time nothing really blew me away about it. Regardless, most Japanese-made MMOs tend to do fairly well in the West, and I'd expect Blue Protocol to be relatively popular, as long as it's got plenty of content as well as a fair business model.
I would say marathon. I'm going to say marathon on Blue Protocol because I know I've been following that game for a while, and now Amazon's handling it, and you know when Amazon's handling it, you know they're going to make a big Twitch deal about it, so that's probably going to be like a New World style marathon for sure. People would think, oh, passathon? No, that one's going to be a marathon whenever it does come out. And I think it's coming out this year too. I think it's coming out, well, what do you say, Q3 or early spring? So probably in the next couple months. I would say definitely marathon on Blue Protocol for me.
Desert.
What is
this? This is not an MMORPG. It's a story-driven single-player
Why is it in
RPG
the
with
video?
multiplayer elements. As to the extent of those multiplayer elements, we're not sure yet as of the making of this video. Regardless though, this is a game being developed by the same developers as Black Desert Online, which means it will likely have an amazing action combat system that will likely appeal to most MMORPG fans. As for release date, it's currently looking like Q3 or Q4 2023.
Passathon. If it's slower than that, then maybe, but so far right now, passathon.
Arcade 2. This Unreal Engine 5 MMORPG will be available on both PC and consoles and feature a massive open world with an action combat system, a solid mix of both PvP and PvE content, as well as the ability to build giant ships and sail the open seas, which was the most famous feature from Arcade 1. The recent teaser trailer we got for Arcade 2 got me extremely excited. The game looks absolutely beautiful, and I hope XL Games have learned from their past mistakes with Arcade 1. So far this game is slated for a 2024 release, however I personally wouldn't be surprised to see it pushed back into 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say passathon. Based on what Arcade 1 had, I mean, I don't care if it's Unreal Engine 9, bro. Yeah, I need the gameplay to be good. I need it to not be full-blown PvP. I need it to be dungeons and raids and shit. I mean, how many Arcades have we had so far? We've had Arcade 1, Remake, Reboot, Rebirth. I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to say passathon on Arcades. I'm just not about that Arcades life.
It's also a Korean MMO with a big emphasis on PvP, so I'd also expect it to have pay-to-win elements.
Yeah.
Night Crows.
What?
This game was unveiled in November 2022 with one of the most badass trailers I've ever seen for an MMO. What's even more surprising is that the game is slated for an April 2023 release. The game's key feature is that it can supposedly support 1,000 player PvP battles, which is something I'm kind of skeptical about.
No shit, no one does.
Visually, the game looks very...
How many games in the past have we seen these developers say, oh, we're going to support 10,000 on your screen player PvP, and then it just never happens, bro? Yeah, it's always BS, dude. Come on, man.
Nice, utilizing Unreal Engine 5's rendering tech. However, my biggest skepticism comes from the fact that Night Crows will be cross-platform on PC and mobile, and apparently use blockchain technology. No idea how this game's gonna turn out, but I'll be trying it regardless.
Passathon. Passathon. It's on mobile too, right? Yeah, probably a Passathon. Passathon, unless they pay really well. I'm just being honest, man.
Wayfinder is yet another recently announced game making this list, and it actually looks pretty decent. I'm not too sure to what extent this game is massively multiplayer, but MMORPG is a tag that the game is using to describe itself on the game's Steam page, which is already up and available for wish lists. Based purely on the trailer, Wayfinder to me looks like a third-person multiplayer stage-based looter, but I might be wrong. Not much details are known other than the game will...
Yo, this shit looks like WildStar in 2023, right? What?
Launch in late 2023 and have a fair free-to-play business model, whatever that means these days.
Okay, you know what? I'll go in between on that one just because it looks like WildStar. I'll go Minithon. I'll go Minithon on it. Yeah, we'll go mini. We'll go in between. Just because I got some WildStar vibes, it got me kind of excited.
Towelliee is probably the most casual MMORPG on this list, and that certainly isn't a bad thing, as that's the exact niche this game is targeting. Imagine Stardew Valley, but 3D, third person with multiplayer. Basically the perfect game to play with your partner. Towelliee describes itself as a community sim game set in a vibrant world with a cozy art style and overall vibe. In this game you can forage, hunt, mine, catch insects, go fishing, cook, furnish your house, and do some gardening. As for release date, I'd expect this sometime in late 2023, as the game's already had multiple playtests at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna go Passathon on this one. Yeah, Lula's excited. I know Lula was gonna get excited when she saw this one. Yeah, I'm good though. I'm gonna go Passathon. I'm gonna go Passathon on any Stardew Valley style game.
Corepunk. This is quite a unique upcoming MMORPG that I've personally been excited for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's been in development.
Imagine
for
MOBA-style top-down gameplay, but in an MMORPG with Fog of War. It's certainly a unique concept that hasn't been done before. Corepunk looks like it has a solid mix of both PvP and challenging PvE content, crafting, an open world, vibrant art style, character customization, and multiple classes. In terms of development, the game looks pretty far along based on the gameplay shown, and was supposed to have a beta test at the end of 2021, which was delayed. Unfortunately, the devs faced further delays due to having a studio based in Ukraine at the start of the war. Thankfully, the most recent update states that the team are fully back on track, so I'd expect us to get our hands on Corepunk sometime in 2023.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I remember, dude, Corepunk got announced a long time ago, right? Because I remember this game way before 2021, right? Like when they first announced it, we were like, okay, a little top-down MMORPG. It looked pretty decent. I mean, I'm gonna say Passathon. I feel like it's too slow. I don't know. I've seen so much footage of it. I remember people playing in the beta with the beta footage the first time around. Well, what was it, alpha testing or whatever? I don't know. I didn't really like it too much. But it is buy to play model, and it's in 2023. So if it comes out, it does come out. So
Bitcraft is a game that's taking a different approach to the sandbox MMORPG genre. As you can see from the trailer, it has cozy, stylized, cel-shaded graphics and quite a relaxing vibe. This game features procedurally generated landscapes, the ability for players to come together and construct their own towns, crafting and gathering systems, farming, hunting and fishing, and it seems to be a cross between survival game and MMORPG with a strong social focus. No announced release date yet, but the game's recently began the pre-alpha testing process, so perhaps this is a 2024 MMO.
Passathon. I'm not about that building life, bro. You know, fucking plant the seed, wait like 9 days for it to grow, and then use the fucking use it to make one potion or something. I'm okay. I'm a passathon on Bitcraft.
Hytale is a voxel-style MMORPG
No
that was
way.
initially announced 4 years ago.
No way.
This game's more of a sandbox-style MMO and will feature building, minigame creation, quests, dungeons, bosses, character customization, different classes, and a ton of in-game tools to help content creators make their own content for the game. Hytale has recently redeveloped its engine to support multiple platforms, and the latest info I can find is that the team are eyeing a 2023 release.
Passathon, man. I don't do well in these games. Any game that requires building and you need your own server and you got to upkeep it and you got to log in every day and then you got to I don't like the whole I have to keep track of my world while I'm offline to see what's going on. You log in and some dudes raided your town and now your pixelated castle is destroyed and they're teabagging you and shit. I'm good. Passathon.
Profane describes itself as a true player-driven sandbox MMO that takes place in a traditional fantasy setting.
Profane.
You'll be able to explore a dynamic world that reacts to your actions, partake in open-world PvP, build houses, and enjoy skill-based action combat. Visually, I like the vibrant stylized graphics of this game, as well as the PvP territory control focus. Currently, there's no information on a release date for this game, so I'd have to speculate 2025 and beyond.
Passathon.
The Day Before is probably the most hyped third-person looter shooter MMO coming in the near future. This game was initially revealed in January 2021 with a trailer that many people had doubts about, given the fact it's a massive open-world zombie survival shooter similar to The Division, but it's made by a relatively small dev team that hasn't released a project anywhere near this scale before. The Day Before is currently set to release on March 1st, 2023, and can already be added to your Steam wishlist.
I don't know. This is I like these kind of games. Kind of gives me those maybe new age DayZ vibe. I don't know. It's like a Division clone. Could be a mini. Might be one of those 24-hour streams. Yeah, definitely not a marathon. So I got to say passathon on the thon part, but it could be something we just play just to check it out.
Honestly though, this seems like the kind of game you should wait for the reviews for before buying. Project LLL is the latest looter shooter MMO from NCSoft, and in November 2022 was unveiled with a relatively well-received 9-minute gameplay trailer which showed some impressive visuals, although rather clunky looking gameplay and animations. NCSoft has quite a lot of money and have put out some decent games over the years,
Warframe?
so I'm excited to see how this one turns out. As for a potential release, this one's looking like a 2024 and beyond MMO.
Passathon. I don't know. NCSoft just throws games out, right? And 1 out of every 7 of their new titles ends up being good. I would rather do a marathon for Throne and Liberty than this game. So I would say for NCSoft purposes, this is a passathon.
Nightingale isn't really an MMORPG, but it's a first-person multiplayer open-world survival game that I think will likely appeal to MMO players given its fantasy theme. Nightingale will release in the first half of 2023 and features procedurally generated realms to explore, a mix of melee weapons and guns, colossal monsters, gathering, crafting, building, and the ability to recruit NPCs to work on your homestead. Looks like an interesting game and it's already available to wishlist on Steam.
The fishing looked pretty good. I'm going to say probably passathon though. Passathon on this Nightingale game.
Past Fate is a Viking-themed open-world indie MMORPG that should be coming to Steam Early Access in 2023.
What is that cast?
Visually, the game has decent graphics and seems to be going with a Souls-style action combat system.
Oh, I'm done
Past
with that.
Fate will feature 5 playable classes: Warrior, Necromancer, Mage, Pirate, and Priest, a crafting and gathering system, quests, and various monsters such as zombies, demons, and giants. I think
Passathon.
this game looks quite cool, and I'm looking forward to covering
pass.
it on the channel when it releases on Steam Early Access.
Passathon.
War of Dragnaroks is another indie MMORPG coming to Steam Early Access in 2023, and has recently announced that it's transitioning to Unreal Engine 5. This game is a sandbox MMO with a traditional fantasy setting of orcs, dragons, and goblins, and there'll be a big emphasis on player exploration with no hand-holding, no world map, no level scaling, and lots of dungeons and raids to explore.
Okay, well, that actually sounds good. Dungeons, raids, but kind of sandbox. Well, I don't know. Maybe try it out. What's the name of this game? As I remember in my head, War of Dragnaroks. I'll remember it. Definitely not a marathon or even a mini-thon. Probably just check it out.
Soulframe, basically Warframe the MMORPG, but with a slower, more deliberate combat system, perhaps similar to Dark Souls. This game is very early in development, so not a lot of details are known about it yet. Regardless, Warframe was a quality game with a fair business model and a solid developer team, so I'd expect good things from Soulframe. As for a release date, it will be 2025 and beyond, most likely.
I saw that. I saw that the people were working on that from the Warframe people. I don't know. I would say, you know what, man? I might marathon that one. I might marathon, even though I'm not a big Souls person. Actually, no, I'm not a Souls person. I would probably marathon that.
Dune Awakening is a recently revealed open-world survival MMO based in the Dune universe. In this game, you'll explore the vast lawless deserts of Arrakis, fighting bandits, sandworms, and other alien creatures with a third-person combat system where you'll be able to utilize various infantry, ground, and flying vehicles. Obviously, as a survival MMO, gathering, crafting, and base building will also be a big factor. There's not too many details out about this game right now, but it's looking like a game that will be playable in early access either late 2023 or early 2024.
I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Dune. I'm gonna try it out. Probably not gonna marathon it, but I'm definitely gonna try it out. It just doesn't seem like your natural MMORPG. That definitely feels like a lot of. Kind of reminds me of like almost like Planet Side, almost, but with like Dune World in it.
Horizon Online is another upcoming MMORPG that was recently confirmed to be in the works from Guerrilla Games. We don't know anything about this game other than it featuring a completely new cast of characters from the other Horizon games, as well as going for a unique stylized aesthetic. This one seems extremely early in development, so I wouldn't expect any release until 2025 and
I mean, Horizon's iconic right now. I mean, dude, I still haven't even played the first game on the stream, or more or less the second one, but I don't know. I can't really judge this marathon or passathon because everyone's always hyped about Horizon. And you know, when I did play it on that one sub Sunday for like 8 or 9 hours, I definitely enjoyed it, but I'm not sure how they're going to translate the PS5 game into like an MMO RPG. So
beyond.
Passathon, I guess.
Into the Echo is an Unreal Engine 5 MMORPG that was teased in September 2021 with a trailer that quite frankly shows next to nothing. We do know that the game will feature time travel through different civilizations though, which is kind of interesting. This is yet another MMO that I wouldn't expect to release any time before 2025.
Did he just say time travel between different civilizations? Okay, that's my that's my jam, bro. All the time travel shit. I might hit it up. What's the name of this game? Into the Echo. I'll remember this one. But yeah, the graphics don't really look too good on this little trailer.
Mad World is a Korean isometric MMO set in a world with gruesome cartoon-style visuals. This game will be free to play, feature a mix of both PvP and PvE content, as well as some of the most hideous bosses you'll ever see. I expect Mad World will release in 2023, as the game's recently been in beta testing and a Steam wishlist page is already available. As with all free-to-play Korean MMOs though, do expect this one to come for your wallet.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This one looks actually interesting. I'll go mini-thon on this one. I'll go in between Mara and Passa. This is mini. Actually, the second I saw it, I'm like, this looks kind of cool. This looks kind of cool. Is it mobile? Oh, this is actually PC, so it's not mobile. It looked like a mobile game.
Legends of Ymir. Similar to Nightcrows, this is a recently announced MMORPG from WeMade that will also be cross-platform on mobile and PC, as well as using Unreal Engine 5 and blockchain technology.
Nice graphics.
Once again, lovely trailer, but we'll have to wait for the gameplay to see if there's any promise with this one. I'm super skeptical myself, especially with how Myr 4 turned out. Legends of Ymir is currently looking like a 2024 release as of the making of this video.
I don't know. And too early to tell. Wait, yo, what does blockchain even mean? What does that mean? Blockchain technology. Is that? I guess I'm confused by the verbiage. But you can play the game and earn crypto. Oh, I don't know. All right, Passathon.
Chrono Odyssey, another Unreal Engine Korean MMORPG that showed off a cool trailer 2 years ago that was mostly CGI. This game will be cross-platform on PC, PS5 and mobile devices, and not a whole lot is known about the game. Apparently Chrono Odyssey is confirmed for 2023, but given the fact that we haven't seen any actual gameplay yet, I kinda doubt it.
Passathon. Easy Passathon.
Ares Rise of Guardians is an upcoming upcoming sci-fi MMORPG from Cacao Games that gives me budget Warframe vibes. This game will be available on both PC and mobile, so it probably won't be very good, but it has a cool theme regardless. This one should come out sometime in 2023.
All right, pass the thought on this one. This is like Mech Warrior or Mech, like no, I'm good. I'm good on this one. Yeah, no, I'm all right. Pass-a-thon. Pass-a-thon.
Odin Valhalla Rising, another upcoming PC/mobile MMORPG from Cacao Games that visually looks quite good. Unfortunately, the gameplay looks like it's a lot of auto-pathing and auto-combat, probably heavily pay to win too, but I like the Norse theme of the game. Expect a global release for this in 2023, although I don't think it's going to be a game that will be received too well by critics.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at this. I'd say this is it's a pass-a-thon for sure, but I'll give it a try. I think it looks better than the other Valhalla games they just showed. Valhalla clone. Yeah. Whenever I see like groups fighting bosses and shit like this, I get excited because that's like PvE content for me, But it is mobile and PC. At least most PC games now that come out on mobile are cross-platform, and you can choose one or the other. What's worse is when the game is just mobile only, right? And there's a PC version, but it's not cross. Like, even like Arclight Rumble for Warcraft and for Blizzard, right? It's ridiculous how that game right now is mobile only. I'm sure the reason why it's taking so long to come out is because they're putting it on PC too.
Ember Sword is a blockchain MMORPG that's been in development for years. It reminds me of Albion Online, but with more basic graphics. Ember Sword will be a browser MMO with PvP, land ownership, top-down gameplay, and action combat. I'm actually curious to try this game, simply because this is one of the few blockchain MMOs that have been in development for years before crypto gaming became a hype bandwagon, with its first announcement trailer all the way back in 2018. As for release date, it's looking like 2023.
Pass-a-thon.
Perhaps some of you remember a game a few years back called Project BBQ. This was supposed to be a third-person multiplayer action RPG version of Dungeon Fighter Online. Well, Project BBQ was scrapped and transitioned to Project AK. Now, this is still a game that's going to be set in the Dungeon Fighter universe, however now it's going to be more of a Souls-like in terms of gameplay, and it's only going to be releasing on consoles initially.
Pass-a-thon. Yeah, definite pass-a-thon on this. Not my kind of jam.
Star Citizen is the biggest meme when it comes to...
Okay, stop it. Stop it. Bro, I believe it, dude, I was one of the original backers of Star Citizen. I have so many Star Citizen benefits. I get emails every week about this game, and I don't even know what were to happen if I were to log into this game. Because I did that initial big Kickstarter thing, like, 10 years ago now? Like...
upcoming MMORPGs, as many people say this game will never release. It's by far received the most crowdfunding money out of any game ever at over $500 million.
Oh my god.
In all fairness to Star Citizen, some parts of the game are playable and look pretty cool. The truth is though, nobody knows when or if this game will ever release.
It's hard for me to even say if I'm gonna marathon or pass-a-thon this. I don't even know. I don't even know what the game's about. I've never touched it. I've never played it. $500 million. Towelliee ship at this point is worth $5 million US. Probably. I could probably sell my account for like to someone for like probably $1 million, more than likely.
Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This game has been on every single upcoming MMORPG list video for the past 8 years, and it's currently still in pre-alpha. And by pre-alpha, I mean pre-alpha, not some marketing alpha like we've gotten used to over the years. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is basically trying to be the spiritual successor to EverQuest, and based on the most recent footage shown of it, I can't be bothered to talk about the game any further because it still looks like it's a solid 5 years away from completion.
Yeah, that's because Ashes is paying you way too much to not talk about it. Oh, look, I've played Pantheon. I like it. When Pantheon finally comes out, it'll be a marathon. Guaranteed. It will be a marathon. Like, I've played a whole bunch of different versions of it. Every time I play a new version of Pantheon, it's always better. It looks better, right? It's not as clunky as EverQuest and actually has pretty good gameplay. I will support it once it comes out, but like I said, no one knows when it's going to come out. It could be 3-4 years from now.
Camelot Unchained has been in development for 10 years at this point, and we haven't had an updated trailer for the game in 9 years.
Does this business model say refunds?
Devs haven't shown any progress update on YouTube for 2 years, but apparently it's still in development and they've just secured an additional $15 million of funding somehow. Personally, I don't think Camelot Unchained will ever release. So out of all
Passathon for sure, 100%.
The upcoming MMORPGs mentioned in this video, which ones are you the most excited for? Honestly, the last time I made a video like this, 50% of the games mentioned either ended up being dead on arrival, straight up cancelled, or perpetually delayed, but hopefully a few of these MMOs will turn out good. For me, my hype lies with Ashes of Creation, the Riot MMO, Arcade 2, Throne and Liberty, and Soulframe. If any others turn out to be good,
no Diablo 4, bro? What? Like, come on, bro. What?
Good, then it'd be a pleasant surprise. This video took quite a lot of effort with research and writing to make, so if you found it useful, help us out with a like button for the algorithm gods, social media on screen, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right, that was a pretty good video. That was a pretty good video. Definitely give it the old thumbs up. I'm not sure why I'm not still subscribed to this guy, but I don't know, man. So out of all those games, Ashes will be a marathon, Riot will be a marathon, Throne and Liberty will be a marathon, Diablo will be a marathon, Path of Exile, no, Blue Protocol will be a marathon. The day before, maybe. Yeah, the War of the Dragonarchs, that one's good. Dune Awakening, Into the Echo. I like that one. I don't know. Pretty good list, though. I mean, I actually watched a bunch of other videos last night to see if the lists were different. Everyone's basically talking about the same games.